Welcome back to the channel. I have done lots of book reviews this year because I challenged myself to read a book a month. But something that I have never done on this channel is a book haul. And mostly that's because I live in Colombia, South America. My husband and I are missionaries here. And I mostly read in English. I can read Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish. But for me, it's easier and quicker and more enjoyable to read in English. And so it's hard to find English books here. But we have some friends that are moving back to the States, and they had a garage sale last week, and they actually gifted us a ton of books. And so I'm going to do a book haul for you guys, and I've broken it into 4 parts. I have books that I am planning to use in the future, more like educational books for Eliana. We are planning on potentially doing homeschool. And then I've also got some fun books for Eliana. I have some books for myself, and then I have some books for ministry. So I'm going to break up the times. You guys can jump through the video and you'll see those timestamps below. But let's get started. I have tons of books to show you. I'm so excited. So the first set are books that I will potentially use for Eliana's education in the future. We've got an Usborne book of Living Long Ago, and so it just has some different examples of lifestyle and how people lived and like the housing and culture and things like that. And so it's everyday life through the ages. So I'm excited for that. I'm sure there will be multiple times throughout education that'll be useful, and maybe she'll be interested in history. Who knows? Along the same lines, another Usborne book of the first book of history. What Life Was Like. So this is another book, the Nature Company Discoveries Library, and it just talks about life. This one's more so, I believe, in Egypt, pharaohs, dynasty, education, tunics, the Egyptian Empire, and so it's kind of that Middle Kingdom area, but I'm excited for that book as well. And then I have some on some different countries, and so these are a Journey Through series, and we've got a Journey Through Mexico, a Journey Through Canada, a Journey Through India, a Journey Through China, and last but not least, a Journey Through Australia. And so it'll just give her some perspective on some different countries around the world. I know that things have probably changed since these books were written, but it'll still give a general idea of the architecture and the culture and the history. So excited for those. And then another one, we have lots of different Bibles for Eliana, but this one is the Children's Bible, Volume 1, The World's Greatest Stories Illustrated in Full Color. And so it has the creation, Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, Noah's Ark, the Tower of Babel, Abraham and Sarah, and Rebecca at the well. So that's kind of my first chunk of books. These ones are going to be more like educational type books, and so I'll save them and keep them. We might start reading them now even, but those are going to be along the lines of education. And any of these books that I can find, I will link down below. Again, I've not read them, but I will put links to any ones that I can find down below if you guys happen to be interested. The 4 fun books for Eliana. I've got some that are I think I have one in Spanish right here. We have some others that are in Spanish as well, but I've got some that would be applicable for her now, and then some that she can grow into. So for instance, this first one she could grow into, The Mystery of the White Elephant, and it's part of the 3 Cousins Detective Club. This one is another Bible. This one's in Spanish, Vivamos la Palabra con Palabritas. And so it's kind of a little devotional type Bible, lots of colors, lots of almost activities that she can do. And I might even be able to copy some of this for like our kids club, just get some ideas for some different activities that I can do with the kids club. I'm always looking for new activities. The Story of Jonah. So that one's in English, and it's got some really cool illustrations. I love it. My first book of questions and answers. And it's interesting, she's already been gravitating to one that we have on answers, questions and answers. And so I'm sure that's going to be something she's going to be interested in the future. Now, I will say I'm not a huge Dr. Seuss fan because I don't like invented made up words, but I did promise our friends that I would read these to Eliana. And so we've got Mr. Brown Can Moo, Can You? We've got Are You My Mother? And we have Hand, Hand, Fingers, Thumb. So just a couple of fun Dr. Seuss books. I actually think I've got some other ones on the shelf already from them as well. And then 2 more books that are for Eliana to grow into, Addie Across the Prairie and The Mysterious Case. So hopefully these will give Eliana some good genres. Again, books, if we're still here in Colombia when she gets older, like chapter books in English are hard to find as well. And so this will at least get her started on a couple that she can grow into. I'm excited. All right, on to the books for me. And I've got a good little haul for my books. So this is Flickering Lamps, Christ and His Church by Henry and Richard Blackaby. I've actually read this book in Spanish, and it is phenomenal. I can't wait to read it in English because I'm sure I'm going to really understand and get more engaged in the reading because it's in my first language. So I'm really excited to read this one in English. This one is a novel. It's called Of Men and of Angels. It's missing its dust jacket, but it is a Bodie and Brock Thone book. And so I'm excited. This one's just a novel. I've been looking for some good fiction and novels, so maybe that'll be one that I enjoy. It's by Bernard Bangley. I thought this was an interesting topic, an interesting title. It says, if I'm forgiven, why do I still feel guilty? How often is that the case for us as believers, as Christians? We believe in Jesus. We know that we're forgiven from our sins, and yet we still have that weight of the guilt of our sins that we carry around with us. And so I'm hoping this has some like practical ideas of how you can really give those guilty feelings and give that over to the Lord and fully understand his forgiveness for us. I'm hoping that that's a little bit of what this has. It says a few things that it'll offer is to distinguish true guilt from false, explore the nature of God's forgiveness, resolve guilt through an 8-step plan, deal with conflict between yourself and others, and prepare yourself emotionally and spiritually for the next time. So I'm excited. I think that's a good one. This one was also interesting. This one's called His Brain, Her Brain, How Divinely Designed Differences Can Strengthen Your Marriage. Men and women are built so differently, and God did that on purpose. So how can what God did in making us, how God made us, how can those be strengths in marriage? I'm actually excited for that one too. And then this one is called 1 Year Chronological Bible. So it goes through the Bible in like the historical order of the Bible story, but it also is set up so that you can read it in a year. So it has like January 1st. It has dates of when you should get to a certain place in your reading. And as you know, I've set a reading goal for myself this year, but next year I am hoping that this will be one of my reading goals to get through this exact Bible. I've been wanting to purchase this one for a long time, but in order to get them shipped to Colombia, it was just super pricey, more shipping than the actual cost of the Bible. And so the fact that they had one of these and were willing to give it to me was just, it touched my heart. So I'm excited to read that one. 2 more books in this category. I have already gone. Why Your Kids Will Quit Church and What You Can Do to Stop It. I think this could be an interesting read. Again, I don't know the author. I can't necessarily recommend it yet. But us as missionaries, our daughter is going to grow up being surrounded by the church. How can we make sure that her experience with God is genuine and that as she grows up, she doesn't get pulled farther away from the church because she's so close to it? I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm excited to read this one and see if it has some good tips and idea. And the last one is SOS, Help for Parents, a practical guide for handling common everyday behavior problems. So I've read at least one this year of Shepherding a Child's Heart by Ted Tripp, I believe it was. And so I'm excited to get another perspective on parenting and problem solving. So there's that one. Those are all of my personal stash of books from this book haul. I'm excited. And then the last section are books that I think will help us in ministry. So this first one is in Spanish. It's called Dios, ¿cuál es tu nombre? God, what is your name? And it just has tons of activities. And we actually just finished a series with our Thursday night Bible study. So we do one series with Saturday, one series with Thursday, and one series with the Sunday kids. And so since we just finished a series in our Thursday nights, I think this could be a good next step for my Thursday night group. Plus, we're going into the Christmas season, and it talks about the names of God, about who God is. And so I'm excited for that. I think that'll be good. I also have the Christmas Journey activity book. And so it just has some different colors and dot-to-dots and activities. And some of them have been done, but some of them have just been colored a little bit. And then you've got some additional activities. So that one either I can do just with Eliana. It is in English, so depending on the activities, I might not be able to use it necessarily for ministry, but it should be good for Eliana as well. Instant Bible lessons. These are reproducible, so you can copy. They're for ages 5 to 10. It is in English, but again, I can translate certain things or even just print it and have them do it and explain to them or read it to them, translating as we go. And so there's various things that I can do with them. Or for instance, this one, loaves and fishes. I can use this image and not worry about what's along the edges. So certain things are still going to be able to be used for the church services. So I'm excited for that. This one is my little heavenly helper, hidden pictures and mazes. Again, it does have some English in it, but they can still enjoy the activity without knowing what the English says. Or if I copy it and handwrite, so like cover it up and handwrite it in Spanish, I can use all of it anyway. So that'll be fun as well. More Bible puzzles and games. So again, these are just great, giving me a couple ideas or activities, things that I can either translate or even just copy and have them use. But it should provide just some new ideas for ministry. Last one is Fundamentals of the Faith. And this book it's almost like a Bible study. And we've been looking for something to do with the teens that are wanting to serve with us. And so even if we do more so of like a translation and use this as inspiration, I think it'll be a good step as well. So these ones are kind of our ministry go-to books. But there you have our book haul for today. If you enjoyed this video and want to check out some reviews of some books that I've read this year, check them out over here. And don't forget, you can subscribe and keep up with us as missionaries and our family as we upload some vlogs each week. And we will see you guys on the next video.